every human heart lies the spark of something greater, something that will one day ignite the soul and carry it to heights it had never dared imagine. Yet all too often we find ourselves in the valley trudging, stumbling, weary from the long journey, feeling that the breakthrough we so desperately seek is a distant dream, ever out of reach. We might feel as if we are on the edge of something grand, yet uncertain whether the moment is truly coming. But I tell you, those who endure through the darkness and keep pressing forward have a promise that breakthrough is nearer than you think. It is coming for you, chosen ones, and there are signs, unmistakable signs, that herald the dawn of your victory. There are moments in every person's life when the horizon seems impossibly far away, when the road ahead is unclear, and when doubts begin to settle like a fog over the soul. You stand at the threshold, feeling uncertain, wondering if the things you dream of success, happiness, purpose are ever really within reach. But what if I told you that the very fact you're questioning these things, the fact that you feel a stirring deep inside of you, is the first sign that something incredible is on its way? What if I told you that the first step to realizing your breakthrough is to begin seeing the world differently? Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. These words from Carl Jung hold a profound truth. When we begin to see with the eyes of the heart, the fog clears, and the obstacles that once seemed so large begin to shrink. A shift in perception is all it takes to turn the impossible into the inevitable. You are not stuck where you are. You are simply in the process of becoming something more, something greater than you have ever allowed yourself to believe. It all starts with how you see. It's not enough to look at the surface of things and believe that everything you need is already out of reach. Life has a way of showing us exactly what we need at the precise moment we are ready to receive it. You may not be able to see it right now, but your breakthrough is often hiding in plain sight, waiting for you to awaken to it. A shift in perception can open your eyes to opportunities you never imagined. Think about the caterpillar before it transforms into a butterfly. If it could speak, I imagine it would wonder if it would ever break free from the confines of its cocoon. But it doesn't. Instead, it trusts the process, believes in the potential for growth, and in time it emerges transformed and free. It didn't know how or when, but it did know that transformation was possible. And so it is with you. You may not see it now, but you are in the process of becoming who you were always meant to be. The moment you begin to see the world differently, you start the process of breaking free from the constraints you've placed upon yourself. The world is not the prison, it's the canvas for your creation. Emerson once said, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters. Compared to what lies within us, you must understand this. The key to unlocking your breakthrough lies not in the external world, but in the hidden treasures within your own heart. It is your heart that knows what your eyes cannot see." The minute you start to look beyond your immediate circumstances, beyond what you can physically touch or measure, and start to trust your inner vision, you will realize that all things are possible. This is the time to turn your gaze inward and begin asking yourself, what am I capable of? What do I truly desire? How can I shift my perspective to see the potential that lies beneath the surface of every obstacle? You see, life is not an obstacle to overcome, but a puzzle to solve. Each challenge is a piece of the greater picture, a lesson in disguise, shaping you into the person you need to become. The most beautiful things in life are often hidden from plain view, and it is only when we shift our focus that they reveal themselves. In times of struggle, it is easy to fall into the trap of thinking that the road ahead is simply too long, too difficult, too uncertain. But this, too, is a moment of transformation. Every time you step out of the comfort of what you know, every time you choose to see your struggles as stepping stones instead of roadblocks, you are learning to fly. The only way to discover the limits of the possible is to go beyond them into the impossible, said Arthur C. Clarke. You must trust that, just like the caterpillar, you will emerge from your cocoon, but only when you are ready to embrace the transformation. The fog that clouds your vision today is preparing you for the clarity of tomorrow. And in this journey, it's important to remember that you are never alone. The world does not conspire against you, it conspires to help you grow. We live in a universe that is constantly evolving, that is constantly presenting us with new opportunities to grow, to learn, and to become. But the key is how we choose to perceive these moments. Will we see them as hurdles, or will we see them as invitations to become the person we've always known we could be? Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans, John Lennon once said. So often we get caught up in the need to control every aspect of our lives. But the truth is, life is unfolding around us, and if we allow it, if we are open to it, it will lead us to exactly where we need to be. The breakthrough you are waiting for is already on its way. All it requires is a willingness to trust the process, to trust that you are exactly where you need to be right now, even if you can't see the full picture yet. There will be moments when you doubt. There will be times when it feels like nothing is changing, like you are stuck in the same place with no way out. But remember this, the darkest hour has only 60 minutes. In the very depths of despair, there is an unseen force at work, an invisible hand guiding you toward your breakthrough. It is in those moments of stillness that the seeds of transformation are planted. And just as a seed must break open before it can sprout, you too are breaking open, ready to sprout into something new. It's time to shift your focus. Look at the world through the lens of possibility. See each challenge as an opportunity. See each setback as a setup for your comeback. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are a creator of your own reality. The moment you change the way you see the world is the moment you step into your power. The universe has been preparing you for this moment all along, and now it is time for you to take the next step. So, chosen ones, understand this: your breakthrough is already happening. The seeds have been planted, the transformation is underway, and the time to rise is now. Trust in the process. Trust that the universe is guiding you. Trust that you have everything you need to succeed. Look within, for there lies the vision that will carry you through the darkness and into the light of your greatest triumph. Your breakthrough is near. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. All you need to do is see it. There are moments in life when we feel as though we've reached the end of the road. The weight of the world feels unbearable, and the destination we once envisioned seems impossibly distant. In these times, it's easy to feel discouraged, to wonder if what we're striving for is ever truly attainable. But let me remind you of something powerful. The distance between where you are and where you want to be is not measured by your circumstances, but by your perception. What you see is what you get. If you cannot see the possibility, you cannot reach it. But if you dare to shift perspective, the world will begin to open up in ways you never imagined. It starts with a change in perception. As the great Albert Einstein once said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. The challenges we face are not the barriers, they are the stepping stones. The obstacles are not the final word, but the language of progress. They are not there to stop you, but to shape you, to test your resolve, and to prepare you for something greater. Your breakthrough is not defined by the absence of difficulty, but by your ability to perceive the lesson in every hardship, the growth in every setback. And in that growth, you must come to understand the value of patience. You see, the greatest transformations do not happen overnight. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out, Robert Collier wisely said. It's in the quiet moments, the quiet persistence, where the seeds of greatness are planted. Nothing worthwhile comes easily or quickly. Every person you admire, every success story you celebrate, is built on a foundation of unseen effort, repeated failures, and countless moments of doubt that were overcome. The journey itself, though difficult, is what strengthens your character, sharpens your vision, and prepares you for the breakthrough that is coming. It is in the dark times that you truly find your light. Out of difficulties grow miracles, as Jean de la Bruyere once said. You must trust that even when you cannot see the way forward, even when the path seems uncertain, the growth is happening. When the storm is raging, it can be hard to believe that the sun will ever break through. But take comfort in the fact that it always does. Storms are temporary, but the transformation they bring is permanent. Your breakthrough is not a distant event in the future. It is the result of the choices you make today. The best way to predict your future is to create it, Abraham Lincoln wisely observed. The life you desire, the success you crave, is all within your reach. But it starts with believing that you are worthy of it, that the world is not only capable of giving you what you seek, but is already arranging things in your favor. You must see beyond the limitations of the present moment and trust that your actions, your persistence, your belief will shape the reality you dream of. Remember, life is not happening to you, it is happening for you. Every experience, every challenge, every setback is part of a larger plan. When you change your perception, when you see every moment as an opportunity for growth, that's when the doors begin to open. Keep going. keep growing. Your breakthrough is closer than you think, and when it comes, it will be more than worth the wait. Keep your eyes open and keep believing. You are destined for greatness. The promise of a breakthrough seems like a distant dream. Perhaps you have faced obstacles that have shaken your faith or doubts that have clouded your vision. The struggle, the resistance can feel suffocating at times. Yet it is in these moments, when the tension between where you are and where you want to be seems greatest, that growth is happening. You are not stuck. You are being stretched. You are being prepared for something greater. Out of difficulties grow miracles, said Jean de la Bruyere. These words hold a truth that many of us overlook in the face of adversity. We tend to view resistance as a hindrance, as something that is preventing us from moving forward. But resistance, in all its forms, is not the enemy. It is the crucible of transformation. Resistance is the fire that tempers the steel, the pressure that turns coal into diamonds. It is not something to avoid, it is something to avoid. Without it, you would never know how strong you are, how capable you are of weathering the storm. Without it, your breakthrough would never arrive. Think about the athlete pushing through the last few reps, or the artist who faces the blank canvas over and over, knowing that failure is part of the process. Every time they push against resistance, they are getting closer to their true potential. They are being shaped by the very forces that seem to threaten them. The challenge of resistance is what unlocks the hidden strength within you. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche famously said, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." Resistance is not a force trying to break you, it is a force that is, in fact, making you. This resistance can take many forms: self-doubt, external challenges, fear of failure, or even the pressure of expectations. At times, it may feel like everything is conspiring against you, as if life itself is pushing you to the breaking point. But do not be fooled. This is the very moment when your breakthrough is being forged. The difficulty you face is not a sign that you are failing, it is a sign that you are growing. The moment you give up is the moment you let someone else win, Kobe Bryant once said. Every time you persist, every time you push through the resistance, you are choosing victory over defeat. You are choosing growth over stagnation. The resistance is not the enemy. It is the ally in disguise. Every setback, every challenge, every moment of doubt is simply an invitation to rise. The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it, said Molière. And this is the key to understanding resistance. It is not something that is happening to you, but something that is happening for you. When you choose to face the resistance head on, when you refuse to shrink back in fear, you begin to understand that the very challenges you face are shaping you into the person you need to become to embrace your breakthrough. The road to success is never a straight line. It is full of twists, turns, setbacks, and moments of frustration. But every step, every struggle is part of a larger picture that you may not be able to see right now. Just because the journey seems difficult doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. In fact, difficulty is often the best indicator that you are exactly where you need to be. It is in the struggle that the seeds of greatness are planted. Think of a plant growing through the earth at first. The seed must push through the dirt, resist the pressure, before it can reach the sunlight. It is in that very struggle, that very resistance, that growth is happening. The more you face resistance with courage, the more you are preparing yourself for the breakthrough that will come. As Winston Churchill once said, if you're going through hell, keep going when resistance becomes overwhelming. It is easy to want to quit, to surrender, to believe that it is all for nothing. But those who press on are the ones who find what lies beyond the struggle. They are the ones who discover the strength they never knew they had. The ones who persist, who refuse to quit, are the ones who eventually reap the rewards of their perseverance. It's in the darkest of times, when all seems lost, that the light of your breakthrough is closest. It is in those moments when you want to give up that you are being tested for the greatness that is waiting just around the corner. Remember, the night is always darkest before the dawn. But how do we push through when everything feels so heavy? How do we keep going when it seems like the resistance will never end? The answer lies in perspective. It's all about how you view the resistance. Do you see it as a barrier that stops you in your tracks, or do you see it as the force that is shaping you into who you are meant to become? A challenge only becomes an obstacle when you bow to it, said Ray A. Davis, this is the key. You must choose to see resistance as an opportunity to grow stronger, rather than as an indication that you are failing. Every time you face a challenge and keep moving forward, you are building resilience. You are training your mind and body to overcome whatever stands in your way. And in that process, you are becoming the person who can handle the success you desire. Remember, the breakthrough you seek is not some distant event. It is a process, a journey, and each step you take through the resistance is a step closer to the life you have always dreamed of. Your ability to face resistance head-on and keep pushing forward will determine your success. It's not about avoiding challenges. It's about embracing them with the understanding that they are part of the journey, part of the growth process that will ultimately lead you to where you want to be. As you walk through life, remember this: the greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. This resistance is not meant to break you, but to make you. It is the force that will unlock your true potential, sharpen your resolve, and prepare you for the breakthrough that is waiting for you just beyond the horizon. When you face resistance with courage, when you refuse to let it stop you, you are stepping into your greatness. So keep going. Embrace the resistance, for it is the very thing that will carry you to the breakthrough you have been waiting for. You are capable. You are capable. You are stronger than you know, and your breakthrough is closer than you think. In life, there are moments when everything feels out of control. The world around you is chaotic. The challenges in front of you seem insurmountable, and your mind is filled with questions and doubts. Yet, in the midst of this chaos, there is a quiet truth peace. True inner peace is not the absence of turmoil, but the ability to remain calm and centered in the face of it. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to cope with it, as Mahatma Gandhi once said. It is not found in the external world, but within ourselves. You see, peace doesn't come when everything falls into place. It comes when you learn to trust the process, when you believe that even in the midst of uncertainty, everything is happening exactly as it should. It's the peace that comes with surrender, the peace that arises from knowing that your path is unfolding. Even if you can't yet see the full picture, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you, says the Bible. This kind of peace is not passive. It is an active trust in the unseen, in the idea that something greater is at work behind the scenes. True peace is a choice. It is not something that can be dictated by your circumstances, but something you cultivate within. In the face of adversity, you have the power to choose how you respond. You may not be able to control what happens to you, but you can control your reaction. And it is in choosing peace, in choosing calm over chaos, that you take back control of your life. Peace is the result of retraining your mind to process life as it is, rather than you think it should be, said Wayne Dyer. This means letting go of the need for everything to go according to your plan, and instead trusting that life is unfolding exactly as it needs to. One of the most powerful ways to embrace this peace is to practice gratitude. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all the others, said Marcus Tullius Cicero. When you focus on what you have, rather than what you lack, you begin to see the abundance that surrounds you. Gratitude shifts your perspective from one of scarcity to one of plenty. It reminds you that you are already blessed, even in the midst of challenges. And when you feel gratitude in your heart, it becomes impossible to feel anxious or fearful for too long. In times of uncertainty, when everything feels fragile, peace is the anchor that keeps you grounded. Nothing can bring you peace but yourself, said Ralph Waldo Emerson. Your peace is not dependent on the people around you or the situations you find yourself in. It is something that comes from deep within, from a place of acceptance and trust. It's about knowing that no matter how stormy the waters may get, you can weather the storm. You are not defined by the circumstances, you are defined by how you choose to navigate them. When you cultivate peace within, the world outside begins to change. When you are at peace with yourself, you become a source of peace for others, said Deepak Chopra. Your calmness becomes contagious. Your peace becomes a beacon for others who are lost in the chaos. So remember, this peace is not something to be found, it is something to be created. It begins with you, in your heart, in your mind. Trust in the process, choose peace, and everything else will fall into place.